and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we'll have roll call.
Stephanie Osborne.
Here.
Nancy Hall.
Here.
Sandy Short.
Here.
Tony Castellante. Gabe King.
Here.
Mike Dodd.
Here.
Okay, council, if you've had a chance to look the minutes from the previous meeting, if there are no additions or corrections, do we have a motion to accept them as read? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, at this time, I know, we're gonna go to our visitors. Heidi, I know you're here for, are you still interested in the council seat?
Are you wanting to learn a little bit?
Yeah, I kind of want to learn about it a little bit.
That's fine,
You know,
Observe for a while?
yeah.
That's a good idea.
that's fine. And did you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring up, or?
No.
Alright. And then, of course, you're with the media too.
Peak Wild, yes ma'am.
Heidi, did you have anything else that you wanted other than just observing?
No, just want
Okay.
to.
Alright. At this time, we'll go to the employee committee reports. Zoning, I know Merle has 2 finished, he has 2 that he's working on. So we have 4 total, and the season's just getting ready to start. Kenny asked me to bring up for the village administrator, the mowing position that he asked you guys to put out. We did get if you go to your tablets and look under,
Park Hill?
yeah, Park Health,
1 and 2.
Yeah, there's 2 of them there, one for the park and one for the water plant.
which one's it under there, Cassie?
1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2,
One
okay,
is the
It's
park
never
and
was
2's the
park.
other one.
okay, oh yeah. The first one is the park. We actually got a, thing from Angles Nursery that he would like to go with. They offered, to do the park. They did the configuration, if you look here, for 4,000, which is 800 under what we allowed. That's them using their equipment, their men, prices. And Kenny, because of the lead and copper deal that he's dealing with, and he is gonna have to probably dig up quite a few properties to find that out for the EPA. If you'll go to number 2, on here on the parks help, Kenny asked them about doing the water tower area. Water plant area, cause that's a pretty good area out there, and, for 1,800, which is, just about 1,000 more than what we'd originally agreed on. He could get that done, which will free them up, because he's gonna need the guys to help him dig those lines to get that done, besides everyday maintenance. And he was asking, now this is within his budget that he can do himself, but he wanted to bring it to council and actually get your approval for it in the minutes, so that, you know, with the auditors, you know, we're being transparent on that. I know it's under his 10,000 limit, but he wanted to make council aware of that. Any discussion on that?
I like the fact that if it's not,
Doesn't need it, they're not
if,
gonna.
yeah, if it doesn't need it, they're not gonna do it. If there's
Yes.
excess rain and things like that, they'll just wait, so.
Yeah, if we get it
It may
done.
be less than the 1,800 after they get done, you know, for the season or whatever, so.
Yeah, I was kinda like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they're actually making money on this, but I'm sure they have a plan, so. So do we have a motion to allow him to go ahead with the extra on that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
That's a good
Okay.
deal.
So that's-
See, we paid 25,000 out of cemetery.
Maybe you should contact those people.
Yeah,
They're
they
the ones
might
that-
be able to get you a
It's
deal.
the Smith boys. Almost sure, they're working for Angles, or were.
Well, that's okay, but
Who is
if
it?
it's,
They're the
I'd
ones that built the
still,
cemetery to begin.
Who did you say?
I'd still ask.
Yeah, I would,
Good job.
that
Oh,
was,
they did
that
an
was a
excellent
good
job.
deal for us.
Yeah.
So, that's all Kenny basically had, other than, the loop project, like he said before, was done, we're just waiting for the weather for asphalt. To
How's
get
the water
streets. Water,
plant going?
water plant's going fine.
Okay.
We do have a couple issues on some stuff, but Kenny's waiting to get some answers, so I'd rather not go into that until
Okay.
he can probably report on that in the first meeting of April. Before we get to safety, I would like to bring up and thank our first responders from DeGraff, Riverside, that responded to the tornado, that happened at the lake.
And,
You guys-
and our workers.
And
Kenny
our police
workers.
chief, and actually our police chief was one that, his house was one that suffered an extreme amount of damage. And, he's up there still helping Lakeview with, I know there's some issues going up there with, possible looters and things like that. So, but I wanted to thank you guys for the response, even though it was kinda difficult, I know, to get in there and do some of the things. Just the fact that you guys responded and were right there for whatever needed to be done, we thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And, so safety, anything else, Cynthia?
Terry's still, we're still doing the dog, the police dog. He gets that March 26th, cause that was a concern since Terry doesn't have a house, but he does have a place, so. Training will start April 9th for him and the dog. He was able to get his radar gun repaired for less than $300, which was less than what we thought. So he does have that. That was all for our police chief, for our fire department. They had a total of, year-to-date, 14 runs, and 11 of those were mutual aid given to other departments. Our fire department has received the New York roof hooks, and they've been placed on the trucks for service. The air compressors have been placed in service, and they are currently training 3 to use the SCBAs and training, and are refilling the bottles at least a couple times a week. 1,000 foot of 3-inch supply hose was ordered in December and should be here within the next month. Received State Marshal's equipment grant. They applied for $15,000 for pagers and extra radio batteries, and they were awarded $10,000. And you're currently waiting back on the prices for those, correct?
As soon as I get some confirmation on some
Okay.
pricing, we'll get them ordered.
Okay. And the pagers are VHF and Marks capable, so when the sheriff decides to switch all Marks paging, we will only have to reprogram those pagers. One of our firefighters passed a fire vehicle, a
A
vehicle that was
vehicle
on
on
fire.
fire
Okay,
on his
and,
way to the station to go to that fire.
oh, okay, and used 4 of his extinguishers for the people to use. He would like to have, I wasn't gonna bring that up, cause you don't have a price yet on that, right?
Nope.
Once we get a price on that to refill them for them, we'll know more after he gets that. We have a resident wanting to donate weightlifting equipment for the fire department. Check on the legalities of that. And Cassie has the serial numbers for the fire gear that's gonna be donated to the Logan County Historical Society. Anything else I missed?
No, but I did forget to put on there that we did do our respirator fit tests.
Okay.
How'd that go?
Everybody
Good,
passed.
Good.
And our guys in training, were they done? Cause then we have,
One of them wasn't able to make it, but I told him what the stipulations were before, so he will
Okay.
get it done.
okay. Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
Any questions, council, for safety? Alright, then we'll go to finance, Cassie.
Steph and I went and did the CD that we had talked about. We put $321,142 in a 6-month CD at 5.25% annual percentage yield. So we thought we did really good with that.
Yeah. Excellent.
And then if we wanna continue it for another 6 months after that, we can, it'll just roll over with the interest and everything. I will be off tomorrow, I've got some contractors coming to my house for my repairs. And then don't forget, next week I will be gone Wednesday and Thursday for the local government training.
But Sue will be in here, so.
Yeah.
Finance committee, Nancy, you have anything you wanna add to that? Okay. Parks, Gabe,
Nothing new.
anything yet? Alright, whenever you guys get ready to schedule another meeting, just let me
I
know.
was actually going to talk to Tanya
Yeah.
tonight to
Okay,
get a date
just
established.
let me know, guys, okay, cause anything I can do to help support, I will.
Okay.
Cemetery, Mike?
Nothing before.
Okay. And Nancy, you're still supporting the cemetery until we get that extra person on council? Okay. Joint sewer board, of course, we won't have another meeting on that, Mike, until the first of the month.
Right.
Everything's same there. So if there's no other questions on the committees, we'll go to ordinances and resolutions. Your first ordinance council is 2416, an ordinance providing compensation and employing a village solicitor for the village of DeGraff, Ohio for 1-year term beginning April 1st, 2024 and ending March 31st, 2025, and declare an emergency in the village of DeGraff. This is Zeb's. You can see on your tablets, this is Zeb's just annual contract renewal. Do we have a motion to suspend the 3-rule reading?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? And do we have a motion to accept on the first and final?
I'll make motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? And do we have a motion to adopt 2416?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, next ordinance is ordinance 2024-17, an ordinance approving the discarding of municipal personal property that is not needed for public use, is obsolete and unfit for the use for which was acquired, and has no value in accordance with RC Code 721-15, and declaring an emergency in the village of DeGraff. This is the fireman outfit that we are donating to the Historical Society. We have to have an ordinance for that. So do we have a motion to suspend?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? And do we have a motion to accept on the first and final reading?
So moved.
Do we have a second? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Alright, and then do we have a motion to adopt 2417?
I'll make motion.
I'll second.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Alright. The next ordinances are the ordinances relating to the water and sewer rates, second reading only. The first is ordinance 2410, an ordinance to establish water rates, fees, and charges to municipal utilities and repealing any ordinance in conflict therein. Do we have a motion to accept on the second reading?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, the next ordinance, only on second reading only, is 2411, an ordinance to establish sewer rates, fees, and charges to municipal utilities and repealing any ordinance in conflict herein. Do we have a motion?
I'll make motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? The last is ordinance 2415. It's an ordinance ratifying ordinance 2019-09, a records retention program for the village of DeGraff. This is what Cassie had talked about putting everything on a USB. So on second reading only, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, any old business, council? New business. I didn't get a chance to talk with Kenny, but we need to be considering, cleanup. I'm not sure Kenny will have time this year, so that's something that we may wanna discuss. I will talk to him, but kinda come to next council meeting with, yeah, put your think caps on what you'd like to see on that. We'll have to discuss it with Kenny, cause I know this lead and copper thing through EPA is gonna take up a good bit of their time this summer.
So
So,
what's the cleanup gonna,
well, it
involve?
usually consists of, sticks, small trees, certain size that he puts out there, because we usually rent the equipment to mulch that stuff up. People can use it to clean up their different properties. We used to do complete cleanup, but we're spending $10,000-15,000 and people are coming from out of town dumping in our dumpsters. So we stopped that.
okay, so this is just the vegetation?
Just the vegetation end of it. We can help people get rid of that because of storm damage and things like that. If there's no other new business, do we have a motion to pay bills?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? And do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, thank you, council.
Beat your record.
Second one to do that.